Chandrama manaso jataha chaksho suryo ajayata mukhadindrascha agnischa pranad vayurajayata. Sayanacharya states on this particular mantra, Yatha dadhyajyadi dravyani gavadi pashavaha rigadi vedaha brahmanadi manushyascha tasyad utpannaha evam chandradayo deva api tasmadi devotpannaha. Like how milk, curds and other products, like how samit and other products, like how rig yejuhu samam kind of mantras, like how brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudras, they all came. Similarly, it talks about what other luminary bodies came, is what he states further. Tadutpannasya chandramasaha ati shitalatvam sukavahatvam cha utpannam. So that which gives cool thoughts, the ability to cool. Chadi ahladane is the dhatu in Sanskritam. Chadi ahladane means that which cools. So for Chandra, for the moon, chadi ahladane, that which cools, is the dhatu. So for this chadi ahladane dhatu, Chandra came out of the Lord's manas, Chandrama manaso jataha. So to state that whatever is the product, the base will also be the same. If this is cool, the Lord's mind will also be cool. Chandrama manaso jataha. Tasya chakshushaha suryaha sarvartha prakashaparaha ajayata. That which is radiant all throughout, which is Surya, he arose. Bhagavat kripa katakshasya sattva vivardhana dvara sarvartha prakashakatvat tadutpannasya. It is absolutely because of the Lord's grace. Suryasya sarvatha prakashatvam utpannam bhavati. So the radiance of the sun is because of the Lord's grace. Now Nirukta says Suras sarterva suvaterva sviryaterva. That which is in the Surya Mandalam, that which is found in the right eye of every individual. So this is the particular meaning of Chandrama manaso jataha. Next, we have this particular shloka. Indraha parameshwaryan devata sarvabhaumaha agnihi devana mukasthaniyaha analascha. So Indra is denoted as the head of all devas. Indrayato vasitasya raja. So he is the head of all the celestial people, suras there. He is rich and he is a sovereign power. Who is Agni? Agni is the leader of the sky, which is Agnim Murdhava Divaha. Then he is the foremost amongst the devas when we perform yajnam. Agnir agre prathamo devatanam. Next, there is this line which mentions Bhagavataha pranat vayuhu ajayata. Nirukta says Vayur varter virterva syat gatir karmanaha. That which keeps moving. Vayu also makes movements within one's body. In Ayurveda Shastram, they will say whether there is less Vayu or more Vayu. More Vayu also causes problem in the body. Now, Atharvana Veda says, Chandrama mano bhutva hridayam pravishat Suryaha ajayata adischa chakshur bhutva akshini pravishat Agnirvag bhutva mukham pravishat Vagvai parachya vyakrita vadat Te deva ichchadram abruvan imamna vacham vyakurvati Tam indro madhyato vakramya vyakarot Tasmat iyam vyakrita vag udyate Vayuhu prano bhutva nasike pravishat. Through the nostrils it would have got inside. Now, what does the mantra again state? Let us now all these pramana vakyams that I have mentioned. What is the mantra? Chandrama manaso jataha. From the Purusha's manas came Chandra, moon. Chandrama manaso jataha. Chaksho suryo ajayata. From his eyes came the sun. Mukhad indrascha agnischa. Mukhad indrascha agnischa. From the mukham came Indra and Agni. Pranad vayurajayata. Where does Vayu come from? His breath is the Vayu that we all perceive. Now, we have mentioned about Agni. We have mentioned about Vayu. We have mentioned about Indra. we have mentioned about sun, Surya, we have mentioned about Chandra, moon. So all these devatas, Surya Devata, Chandra Devata, Indra Devata, Agni Devata, Vayu Devata, they are all devatas whom we all worship, whom we all revere. But are they our destination? No. The one who has created them is our destination. Who is our Upayam? We may respect them, but the ultimate Upayam is Sriman Narayana. Now, when Sriman Narayana chose to be Krishna, Yesha Narayana Sriman Kshirarnavaniketanaha Nagaparyankamutsrijyam Hyagato Madhuram Purim, the one who came to Madhura, that Krishna has in his Avatara Kalam, during his Avataram, proven to be more valorous than all these Devatas. Now there is one shloka where the great poet Bhattadri condenses this. Muhustavas Chakram Varunamajayo Nandaharane Yamam Bala Nitau Muhustavas Chakram. Chakram for the chakra Indra, Muhu Tavas Chakram. So again and again the Lord had to prove to Indra that Indra is subservient to him. Varuna Majayo Nandaharane, he brought down the arrogance of Varuna Devata during the episode where Varuna had kidnapped Krishna's foster father called as Nandagopala. So at that point in time, Nandagopala was rescued by Krishna and Varuna Devata's garvam was brought down. Varuna Majayo Nandaharane. Yamambala Nitau. When Sandipani Maharshi's Patni, Gurumata, asked for her children to be brought from Yamapatnam, from the abode of Yama, Krishna went to Yamapatnam, won over Yama and brought the children back. Yamambala Nitau, Davadahanapane Nilasakham, Anilasakham. So he brought forth the Shamanam of Agni by, in various episodes, where he consumed the forest fire, where he did Kandavavana Dahanam. So all these incidents prove that Agni was subservient to the Lord. Davadahanapane Nilasakham. Vidhim Vatsasteye. Vidhim. For Brahma, at one point in time, he kidnapped, abducted the friends of Krishna, the Gopas, the cows and the calves. So Krishna created another set to the original, thereby confusing Brahma and proving to him that he is the creator's creator. So Vidhim Vatsasteye. Girishamiha Bānasya Samare. While it was the Yuddham performed for the sake of his grandson against Bānasura, who was supported by Shiva, in that Yuddham, by using Narayana Jwaram as the Astram, Krishna ensures that Shiva faints. So he won over Shiva there. When I say won over, this is for that Avatara Rasikyam. To enjoy that Avatara, that Lord Shiva and Vishnu must have engaged in this battle. Girishamiha Bānasya Samare Vibho Vishwotkarshi Tadayam Avataro Jayatire. So I worship that Krishna who has won over all these devatas. So in Vedam, remember in Purushasuktam or other Suktams, we may come across Kubera, Varuna, Vayu, Yama, Indra, Brahma. Wherever these names are mentioned, the commentators have given us the ability and the license to assume that it may not mean Varuna directly, Vayu directly, Indra directly, Yama directly. It means the Antaryami of Vayu, Antaryami of Varuna, Antaryami of Indra, thereby stating that Vedas, though they may seem polytheistic superficially, worshipping Agni, Indra and so many, they are actually monotheistic because they worship that one Parabrahman, who is construed by many Vedantic Acharyas as Sriman Narayana. Now, there is something very interesting here. Here, Vedam states, Chandrama Manaso Jataha. So, from the Manas of that Purusha came Chandrama, who is moon. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a statement which says that now this body that you are all seeing me in your screen, this is a Pancha Bhautika Shariram made up of 5 gross elements. Now this Pancha Bhautika Shariram has a Jivatma inside it, which is imperishable, that is non-destructible. Now this Jivatma has a Sthula Shariram outside it, gross body. But when my death happens, the Jivatma has to depart from my body. when it has to depart from the body, the pancha jnanendriyas and karmendriyas go to the subtle state. It is called as sukshmavastha. And then the jivatma with the sukshma shariram exits the body. When it exits the body, the manas alone of the jivatma has to be kept somewhere. All the others will go to the sukshmavastha and go. That point in time, the manas will go to Chandran, will go to the moon. Manas Chandram comes this statement in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Interestingly, in those days, poets in the Sanskritam language were experts at Vedas and Vedanta. They were called Shastra Kavi. So Sri Harsha, who belonged to the Kashmir region, he gave us this beautiful kavyam called as Naishadham about Nala and Damayanti. He clearly mentions when Damayanti was in love, head over heels with Nala, she reaches that Virahatapam state. Virahatapam, Vipralamba Shrungaram, happens when the lover is separated from her or his counterpart. So since they were separated, she felt the pain in her. It was in the night time, she was looking at the moon and thinking of Chandra. That time the Chandra is said to have given a gaffa. He must have given a smirk. He would have said, see, you are separated from Nala, in a few minutes you will die. I am very delighted because if somebody dies, their manas will come to me. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Manas Chandram. So your manas must be reaching me. That time she is said to have replied, you have misunderstood Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It does not talk about you, Chandra, it talks about my lover Nala's face which looks like Chandra. So my manas will go only to Nala's Mukhendu and not to you, O Indu. Kim asurbhir glapitair jadam anyase mayi nimajjatu bhimasutam manaha mamakhila shrutimaha tadarthikam nalamukhendu param vibudhasmaraha, says Sri Harsha in Naishadham. So Manas Chandram has been used, deployed from Purushasuktam to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad to Naishadham. So that is where this verse comes. Chandrama manaso jataha chaksho suryor ajayata mukhadindrascha agnischa pranad vayur ajayata. Now coming to the 15th mantra. Nabhya asid antariksham shirshnodyauhu samavartata padbhyam bhumir dishaha shrotrat tatha lokagum akalpayan. Now he talks about the further creation. From the manas came Chandra, from the eyes came the sun, his breath is Vayu, mouth came Agni, Indra and so on. Now he continues further, Vedacharya continues. Nabhi pradeshat antariksha lokaha abhut. Antariksham, the space or the middle sky region, is nothing but the Purusha's Nabhi, navel region. Nabhi pradeshat antariksha lokaha abhut. Shirasaha dyullokaha samyak jataha. Shirasaha, his head is nothing but dyulloka, that which is above that antariksham. Padabhyam bhulokaha, the bhuloka where we live is his feet. Prachyadi dishascha jataha karnat, his ears are the direction like east, west and so on. Tatha purvakalpe asanna tatha chaturdasha lokan chakara. Then comes the question of 14 worlds. Deha madhya pradeshat nabhistanat antariksham. Deha madhya pradeshat. So in that body of the Purusha, Deha Madhya Pradeshat, in the middle of that body, Nabhistanat Antariksham, that Nabhi, that navel represents Antariksham. Surya Mandala Bhumandalayoho Madhyadesha Bhutaha Antariksha Lokaha Asit. Surya Mandala Bhumandalayoho Madhyadesha Bhutaha. Surya Mandala, for the Surya Mandalam, Bhumandalayoho, between the Surya Mandalam and Bhumandalam, Madhyadesha Bhutaha, the middle region, Antariksha Lokaha Asit, that central portion is Antariksha Lokaha. Now, Yaska also agrees that this must be the mid region between earth and the sky. Now understanding that Nabhi, what does this Nabhi indicate of Purusha? Now let us go to the beautiful form of the Lord. Vedanta Deshika mentions, Sampreenati pratikalamasau manasam me sujata gambhiratvat kvachana samaye gudha nikshipta vishva nalikena spurita rajasa vedaso nirmimana ramyavartadyuti sahacharim Ranganathasya Nabhihi. That Nabhi of Lord Ranganatha of Srirangam has pollen grains, it seems, because from that Nabhi navel comes the lotus, and when that lotus has blossomed, Brahma, the child of the Lord, sits on it. As he sits, the pollen grains sprinkle and they fall around the Nabhi region, and those pollen grains are enough for creating various Brahmas itself, it seems. So, Ramyavarta Dyuti Sahacharim Ranganathasya Nabhihi Nalikena Spurita Rajasa. That particular lotus you have seen, Vedaso Nirmimana, that has given rise to the creation's creator. The entire creation you see is of Brahma. That Brahma's creator has come out of that Nabhi Pradesham. Now, there is another verse from Devanayaka Panchashat, another Sanskrit work, Samskrita Prabandham, where Vedanta Deshika states, Nakaukasam prathamam adhi kurvatete pratamatamadi kurvatete nabhi saroja rajasam parinama bhedaha aradhayad biriha tair bhavataha samichi virochita vibudhanayaka ityabhikya. So he talks about the dust from the lotus. He says, Nabhi Saroja Rajasam. Rajas means dust. So the dust from the lotus transforms into various Brahmas and Devas. So they all have come to this Divyadesham for your Aradhanam, to perform worship in this particular place. They have all come. So again the Nabhi Pradesham, that navel of the Lord, the pollen grains of the lotus is spoken there. Now, I will now read out one very beautiful line from the Tamil language. When we deal with devotion and bhakti in our country, we should not be handicapped by languages. मैं हिंदी बोलता हूँ तो तमिल नहीं बोलूँगा, நான் தமிழில் பேசுவேன், ஹிந்தி தெரியாது. If this is the way that we are going to create politics based on languages, then how will we acquire knowledge? Knowledge can come in any language. Even if it comes in English, we have to accept it. The Britishers ruled us. The Britishers would have ruled us. The English language did no harm to us. Mughals ruled us. Urdu did no harm to us, or Turkish language did no harm to us. We should learn how to mutually appreciate each another's language. And when it comes to bhakti, for acquiring more knowledge, it is important that we all become polyglots, people who are adept in many languages. This should not happen. So if I go to the north, Tamil pata nahi hai, ye kya Madrasi bhasha hai. See, God has given us a brain. He has given us memory cells. So at least people who are attending this course, I am sure we all have to rise above the primitive mortals, and we should have the ability to appreciate many languages. Though I would not like to mention in this course, but still I am taking. People watch Squid Game, Korean series. How is Korean language related to us? Have we trained in Korean language? No, but we still watch with English subtitles, right? So we should have the ability to master languages, and we have no rights to undergrade, undermine, make fun of any other language when we are no experts in any other language. So I am going to quote a line from a Tamil Prabandham which belongs to roughly the 6th, 7th and 8th century of Tiruppanalvar. I had mentioned about Tiruppanalvar by mentioning about the Jatis. He describes the beautiful form, the navel of the Lord. He says, Andipol nirattadayum adanmel ayanai padaitadu or edil undi meladandro adiyen ullattin veere. So he talks about the beautiful form. He arrives at the mid region of the Lord's body, Divya Mangala Vigraham, which is that Nabhi Pradesham. That Nabhi Pradesham, he says, Yedil Undi, that which never ever shows any signs of losing youth. See, generally in those days, people who are watching, elderly people by age and by experience, you will all know. women used to deliver 8 or 9 children. Today we may say such large families are an advantage, but considering that women's health, it was not very healthy practice. 8, 9 children, how many deliveries, how much of pain she must have undergone, whether she had the exact nutrients in those days, we do not know. But poets say that as the woman starts delivering, one delivery after the other, the navel, the Madhya Desham will start showing signs of stretch marks, shrinking, and that nabhi of that lady itself will give way, that she has given birth to many children. She has undergone that pain, right? That pain will be visible on the skin. So we say stretch marks and so on. The entire creation of Brahma and so many Brahmas, one Brahma after the other, one Brahma after the other, they have been created by the Lord. So his navel must show signs of that old age catching upon him? No. It looks like a ever young navel. Yezhil undi, tells the poet. Yezhil undi. Undi means nabhi. Yezhil means young. Yezhil undi meladandro adiyen ullattin uyire. Ashrutarudaya, I am reading out a language. This is different from the Tamil language. The 2 lines that I read, which is Andipol Nirattadayum Adanmel Ayanai Padaitadu Or Yedil Undi, is pure Tamil. Now I am going to read a mix of Sanskritam and Tamil. These 2 languages came together and formed a language called as Mani Pravalam. See, when women go to jewelry shops and they buy chains, they will buy a chain that will have pearl, coral, pearl, coral, one after the other. Or they may buy a coral, which is pravalam, coral, and one gem, maybe a ruby. One coral, one ruby, one coral, one ruby. All of this strung together in gold. So when gold comes in combination with coral and ruby, it looks so beautiful. So mani is that particular ruby. Pravalam is that coral. So Tamil language and Sanskrit language are, one is like ruby, the other one is like coral. When you string both of them together, you get Mani Pravalam. So this will be an admixture of these 2 languages. Ashrutarudaya Ajnanandhakarattai Kazhikkavalla. I'll just read it out. It may take a minute or so. Then I will explain. Ashrutarudaya Ajnanandhakarattai Kazhikkavalla Samyagyana Suryodayarthukku Purva Sandhyai Polavum Avargaludaya Taapatrayangalai Kazhigaikku Paschima Sandhyai Polavum Puharndu Nirattayudayadana செவ்வரத்தை உடையதும் இதுமேலில் அனுபாவியத்தை அவலம்பிக்கைக்கு அனுபூதாம்சத்தை அனுவதித்தபடி மேல் அனுபாவியம் ஏதென்ன மேல் அயனை படைத்தது ஓர் எழில் உந்தி அனுபூதமான திரு பீதாம்பரத்திற்கு மேலாய் இதன் நிறத்திற்கு நிகரான சிவந்த தாமரை பூவை உடையத்தாய் அதன் மேல் வியஷ்டி சிருஷ்டி சமயத்திலே முற்பட அயோனிஜனான பிரம்மாவை சிருஷ்டித்த அத்விதீயமான அழகை உடையதான திருவுந்தி பிரம்மாவினுடைய சிருஜ்யத்துவம் சொல்ல கைமுதிக நியாயத்தாலே ருத்ரேந்திராதிகளுடைய சிருஜ்யத்துவம் சொல்லிற்றாம். இத்தாலே பிரதிபுத்தருக்கு ஸ்ரீயப்பதியை ஒழிய சரண்யாந்தரமும் பிராப்யாந்தரமும் இல்லை என்பதாயிற்று. இங்கு பிரம்மாவை சொன்னது முமுக்ஷுக்களை சிருஷ்டித்த உபகாரத்திற்கு உதாரணமுமாக இருக்கிறது. Here the commentator states that the Lord's grace is so much that it will remove the nascence, the ignorance that we have accumulated for such a long time. Well, that is correct. Then he goes on further to state, when I arrive at his navel, that Nabhi Pradesham, it is so beautiful that it has given rise to Brahma, who has given creation to us. Despite having been undergone creation so many times, the Nabhi Pradesham of the Lord never even diminishes by an iota of its youthfulness. That kind of a navel. That navel of the Lord, Nabhi, Vedam says, Nabhya Asid Antariksham. That Antariksha, that region that you see between the sky and the earth, comes is nothing but representative of his nabhi. Nabhya asid antariksham. Sirshnodhyauhu samavartata. Now we have seen so many things. Chandrama manaso jataha chaksho suryo ajayata mukhad indrascha agnischa pranad vayurajayata nabhya asid antariksham shirshnodyau samavartata padbhyam bhumi dishashrotrat tatha lokagumma kalpayan. We have seen that, right? This has been transformed. Whatever is present in the Vedic form, in the Vedas as Sukta form, has been converted into a shloka so that everybody can recite at the commencement of Vishnu Sahasranama. What shloka is that? Bhupadau, Bhuhu, the earth are his feet. Yasya nabhir vyadasunanilas chandra surya ucha netre, the sun and the moon are his eyes. Then the breath is Vayu. Karnavashaha, his ears are the directions. Shirodhyauhu, his face is the sky. Mukhamapi dahano, his mouth is Agni. Yasya vasteyam abdihi, as you go to the abdomen region, that is the abdihi, the ocean. Antastham, the one who keeps everything, everybody and everything within him. Who all he keeps? Yasya Vishwam, the entire universe. What comprises the universe? Sura, Nara, Khaga, Go, Bhogi, Gandharva, Daityehi. Sura, the celestials. Nara, the humans. Khaga, those which fly. Bhogi, reptile-like. Gandharva, that which belongs to the Gandharva category. Daityehi, the asuras. Chitramram Ramyatetam, that kind of a unique form of the Lord is so beautiful and it has no comparison. Chitramram Ramyatetam Tribhuvana Vapusham, Vapu, body, Tribhuvana, the three worlds, Vapusham, the three worlds are his body. Vishnum Yisham Namami, I give my salutations to that Vishnu, says this particular shloka. So if we understand Vedas, if we understand Purushasukta, understanding the Upabrahmanams like Ramayana and Mahābhārata becomes much more easier. Now going to the 16th mantra. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasastu Pare Sarvani Rupani Vichitya Dhiraha Namani Kritva Bhivadan Yadastehe. Now I will give you the Pratipadartham, word by word meaning for this. Here it goes. Sarvani Deva Manushyadi Rupani Sharirani, the bodies of Sarvani Deva Manushyas, Vichitya Srishtva, after creating, Namani Deva Manushya Pashu Pakshi Ityadi. When the creation has happened, it has happened wholesale in bulk. Now like how Rig, Yajuhu, Sama, Atharvanam are classified, he has to classify them into Deva, Manushya, Tiryak and so on. So that Nama Rupa Vibhagam is done. Namani Kritva, Namani Kritva, Abhivadan, Swayameva Tadrupena Parinamitva, Yat Yasmin, Dhiraha, Dhira Purushaha, Aste. This great Purusha now rests, Avasan. Mahantam Utkrishtam, the one who is to be celebrated. Aditya Varnam, what color is he? Aditya Varnam, Suryavat Kantiyutam, he has got the splendor of the sun. Tamasastu, Ajnanasya, that which causes ignorance, no jnanam, that tamasastu, that darkness of ignorance, of no knowledge, pare, bahir bhutam, he helps us cross. Yetam purusham, who helps us cross? Again the question is, all this is fine, somebody has to help us cross, but who will help us? Yetam purusham, bhagavantam mahapurusham, that Narayana who is called as Vasudeva, Sriman Narayana, Vishnu, Mahapurusha, Bhagavan, he will help us cross. Bhagavantam mahapurusham, aham, whom will he help cross? Aham, this jivaha, this jivatma, Veda. Now I understand. So I have understood that this jivatma will be helped by the Paramatma, who is the Mahapurusha, in crossing this ocean of ignorance or darkness. So Ved me, he says. Now let us understand, what does this mean? Deva Manushyadi Sharirani Srishtva, after having created Devas, Manushyas and so on, the commentator states, Namani Kritva Abhivadan, Deva, Manushya, Pashu, Pakshi, Ityadi, Namani Kritva, after having created, Swayameva, Tadrupena, Parinamitva, Yasmin, Dhira Purushaha, Avasan. So here he states that Dhira Purushaha now rests. What does he do after that? Saha devaha sarvani rupani vikara lakshanarthani vichitya पृथक्त्वेन उत्पाद्यनामानि च सर्वाणि कृत्वा धीरः धीमान् व्याकृतनामरूपः कृतकृत्यो यदा अभिवदन् आभिमुख्येन वदन् विश्वमनुष्य गृह्णन् आस्ते तदा सर्वदा एवमेव सृष्टिर्वेदितव्येति एवं सृष्टियज्ञं समाप्य पुनरपि त्रिपादं महान्तं पुरुषं कः साक्षात् जानाति इति प्रश्नमुखेन स्तोतुम् आरभते ब्रह्मादिस्तम्भपर्यन्तस्य जगतः परमकारणं पुरुषं प्रतिपुरुषसूक्तरूपं को वेत्ति. After having witnessed this creation ritual, सृष्टियज्ञं समाप्य, how do we realize this Purusha? Purusha has done the Srishti Yajnam. We have seen the list of things that have been created right from the luminary bodies we have created. How do we realize this Purusha? Who is the cause from Brahmadi Stamba Paryantam, from Brahma till the pillar. That means till whatever insentient object that you see. How do we know of him? Sahasra Shirsha Ityuktam. So, let us go back to the first mantra. The one who is Sahasra Shirsha. Etam Mahantam Purushamaham Veda Janami. Now, what form is he? That Purusha we have understood, he has got 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes and so on, which means limitless. But what color is he? How is he? Aditya Varnam. He is the color of the sun. Tatha Sri Rāmāyane Vishwamitra Vachanam. Now this is very important for us. See, I have been time and again telling, even in Bhāratiya Sāra Bodhani level 1, students who are attending will realize. Srimad Ramayanam and Sri Mahābhāratam, two essential scriptures for us, because both are called itihasas, very, very authentic. Great commentators, all our acharyas will refer to Ramayana and Mahābhārata only. They will give first preference. Next comes the Purānās like Bhagavatam or Vishnu Puranam and so on. Now in Ramayana Mahābhārata, amongst the two, both are important. If somebody is at the knife point asking which is more important, one step Ramayana is more important, because Ramayanam is nothing but Vedasaram. It may look like a story. Every portion of it there will be Dharma Shastram. There is a commentary called Dharmakutam. So everywhere you will find Dharma Shastram, you will find Vedic statement. Here, Dasharatha Chakravarti performed Ashwamedham, the sacrifice Ashwamedham, the yajnam for 1 year. At the end of it, he completed that with a Shrautam, with again a Vedic ritual called as Ishti. Since he desired children, it was called Putrakama Ishti. So at the end of Putrakama Ishti, we have Yajna Purusha who came and gave the payasam. He distributed amongst his principal wives, and then at the end of 12 months, Tatascha Dvadashe Mase Chaitre Navamike Tithau, the children were born. Now, as soon as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna are born, we don't have too much of information about their childhood. Immediately Valmiki takes us to the age when Rama was 12 years of age. At that point in time, Dasharatha Chakravarti was a bit lost in his thoughts as to how to get his son married. He was so worried that his son was not yet married at the age of 12. Darakriyam Prati, while he was thinking what to do, that time Vishwamitra Maharshi barged into the Sabha Mantapam of Dasharatha Chakravarti. Dasharatha immediately promised, whatever you ask, I will give. Then Vishwamitra states that I have been performing yajnam, but Subahu and Maricha, the two demons, are big deterrents. They are all obstacles to my yajna. I need somebody to protect the sacrifice while I am performing the sacrifice. So I would request you give your son Rama. Dasharatha Chakravarti swoons. He refuses. How can I part with the apple of my eye, my dear son? That time Vishwamitra states, Aham vedmi mahatmanam ramam satya parakramam kakapaksha dharam veeram jeshtham me datumarhasi. Aham vedmi, I know. What does the word I know mean? Vishwamitra tells Dasharatha, I know. Aham vedmi, I know. Sir, I know means I know. How much will it mean? The commentator Govindaraja states in his commentary, Jnanavriddha maya rajan bahavaha paryupasitaha. See, I have been approached by people of immense knowledge. I know about your son. You have been approached by people who are commoners. You may not know about him. I know. Then the commentator states, Kushadarbhadaraha, I carry the holy bunch of Kusha grass with me. I know about your son. You carry the bow and the quiver of arrows. You may not know about your son. I am a person who desires the dharmam and moksham of the four purusharthas. Dharma moksharthi I am. I know. You are artha and kama, your desirous of kama and dharma, artha, wealth. You may not know. I am a moksha kameshti. I desire moksham. You are artha kameshti. You like only artham and kamam. I sleep on the bare ground, bearing all the tortures that sharp stones and thorns give me. But you sleep on the Panchatolika Shayanam. You live in comforts. You may not know about the greatness of Rama. Then he says, Aham Vedmi. That is why he says, I know. What does this I know mean? Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam Ramam Satya Parakramam. Aham Vedmi, I know, Mahatmanam, along with others, Ramam Satya Parakramam, that Rama is a personification of Satyatvam and Parakramatvam. Where did he get this line from? Aham, Aham, Vedmi, Veda, Mahantam, Yetam, Ramam Satya Parakramam, Purusham, Mahantam. Vedahametam, Purusham Mahantam is Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam, Ramam Satya Parakramam. So Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam, Ramam Satya Parakramam, which is Vishwamitra Vachanam from Rāmāyanam, is the same as Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam from Purushasuktam of Krishna Yajurveda. So if Ramayana is the essence of Vedas, it should not come as a surprise because every line represents the Vedam. So here he says Tamasastu Pare, the line goes Aditya Varnam Tamasastu Pare, that form of the Lord which is like the sun will help us cross tamas. What is tamas? Tamas here means Prakriti Mandalam, this entire material world. It will help us cross, the Jivatma cross and take us through Vaikuntham. Does tamas mean Prakriti? Does Pare, crossing, help us go to Vaikuntham? Yes. Padma Puranam states, Asankhya Prakritehe Sthanam Nibidadhvantam Avyayam Urdhvam tu Simni Viraja Nissimadhyaha Sanatani Pradhana Paramavyoma Snonantare Virajanadi Vedanga Sveda Janitatoyaihi Prasravita Shubha Tasyaha Pare Pare Vyomni Tripadbhutihi Sanatani. So states Padma Puranam. Now let us go to the 17th mantra. Dhata Purastad Yamudaja Hara Shakraf Pravidwan Pradishascha Tasraha Tamevam Vidwan Amrita Iha Bhavati Nanyaf Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. Now, what does this mantra mean? Here, Sayana states, Ato Guru Shastropadesha Rahitaihi Mudhaihi Anubhavitum Ashakyam Ityartaha. He uses the last mantra Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasastu Pare Sarvani Rupani Vichitya Dhiraha Namani Kritva Abhivadanyadaste. He says Namani Kritva Abhivadanyadaste. That particular mantra with this particular mantra Dhata Purastat Yamuda Jahara, combine these two, he says Ato Guru Shastropadesha Rahitaihi. Without the teachings, the blessings of one's Guru, it is impossible to cross this material world. There is a doha. Guru Gobind dono khade kaake paun lagaye balihari Guru aapne Gobind diyo bataye. So when the Guru, one's teacher, and Govinda, Lord Sriman Narayana are standing, when the God and teacher are standing together, kaake paun lagaye, whom will you prostrate first? Balihari Guru aapne. So I will fall at the feet of my Guru only, says the Doha Karta. Why? Govinda diyo batai. How will I know Govinda, the Lord, if it was not my Guru? So it is falling at the Guru, believing in one's Acharya is very important. Now, Yam Dhata Purastat Udajahara Shakraha Indraha Sarvasu Dikshu Jnatavan. So he says that the one who knows all the directions, Shakraha Indraha Sarvasu Dikshu Jnatavan, the one who knows, has the knowledge. Prathamataha Chaturmukhaha Bhagavantam Paramatmanam Paramapurusha Jnanam Jnatavan. So from the eternal unborn Lord Sriman Narayana, we have Brahma who gets that knowledge. Prathamataha Chaturmukhaha Bhagavantam Paramatmanam Paramapurusha Jnanam Jnatavan. That Jnanam is obtained. Evam Indraha Vamadevadayascha Jnatavantaha. Then Indra obtains that knowledge from great saints like Vamadeva and so on. Evam Sarvasu Dikshu Bahavaha Vidvamsaha Paramapurusha Jnanam Praptaha. Thereby the chain, that beautiful chain of disseminating knowledge, spreading knowledge increases. Purvasmin Kale Chaturmukho Yam Atmanaha Karanabhutam Udajahara Tam Abravit Tvam Purvam Samabhuhu Tvamidam Purvaha Kurushva. So Taitreya Aranyakam states this: Samabhuhu Tamidam Purvam Kurushva Taya Shakraha Pravidwan Prakrishta Jnanaha Indra Pratardana Sambade. So Indra Pratardana Sambadam, Pratardana and Indra converse. What do they know? Pratardano Havai Daivo Hasir Indrasya Priyam Dhamopajagama. So there was a transfer of knowledge. When I say transfer of knowledge, sharing or spreading of knowledge. Brahma says, now let us come back to Ramayana. Now we have gone to Pramana Vakyams from Upanishads and Vedic portions. Now let us come to Ramayana, which is another form of Vedam, the essence of Vedam. Brahma says, Bhagavan Narayano Devaha Shriman Chakrayudho Vibhu Ekashringavarahastvam Bhuta Bhavyas Utpannajit Aksharam Brahmaparam Tvam Madhye Chantecha Raghava Lokanam Tvam Aparo Dharmo Vishwaksenas Chaturbhujaha Sharangadhanva Hrishikeshaha Purushaha Purushottamaha. So he says the one who holds the bow Sharangadhanva, Hrishikeshaha, the one who has won over the Indriyas, Purushaha, that Purusha is none but Purushottama himself. So Brahma takes stock and mentions of Rama as Purushottama. Mandodari Vakyam in Srimad Ramayana, Mandodari, the wife of Ravana, upon learning that her husband had been vanquished in the war, she comes running to admonish Rama. So that time she says, Vyaktamesha Mahayogi Paramatma Sanatanaha Anadimadhya Nidhanaha Mahataha Paramo Mahan Tamasaf Paramo Dhata Shankha Chakra Gadadharaha Srivatsavakshaha Nitya Shrihi Ajayaha Shashvato Dhruvaha. So, hey Purusha, you are Srivatsavakshaha, the one who has been qualified by the presence of Sri Mahalakshmi on your chest. Nitya Shrihi, she is Anapayini, she will never leave you. Ajayaha Shashvato Dhruvaha, the indestructible, the one who is invincible, the one who is imperishable. Hey Purusha, namaskarams to you. Now who is he? Tam Paramam Purusham. What does the mantra again state? Dhata Purastat Yamuda Jahara Shakraf Pravidwan Pradishascha Tasraha. How the transfer of knowledge happened from Parama Purusha to Brahma, Brahma to the Rishis, Rishis to Indra and so on. Tamevam Vidwan Amrita Iha Bhavati. Tam, that Parama Purusha. So Paramam Purusham Yevam Jagatam Adikaranam, the one who is the cause, the first cause of the entire universe, Vidwan Janan, and whoever understands this Purusha to be the cause, Karanam tu Dhyeyaha Iheva Janmani Amrito Bhavati. In this Janma itself, there is absolute chance Amritam Iha Bhavati, they will obtain moksham. Samsara Bandhan Mukto Bhavati Nirantaram Nirvise. Now this is a beautiful verse. See, what is moksham? As per Shastram, the Jivatma has to leave the Pancha Bhautika Shariram, the Stula Shariram, obtain a Sukshma Shariram, then cross one Mandalam after the other, travel to Uttarayana, Dyulloka, and finally cross Virajanadi, Amanava Karasparsham happens, and then there is called Sayujyam, Sarupyam, Samipyam, Salokyam. That is moksham. But being in this Janma itself, one has the ability to experience knowledge or particular moksham. How? Here there is a verse of Vedanta Deshika. Nirantaram nirvishata stvadiyam asprishta chintapadam abhirupyam satyam shape varana shailanatha vaikuntha vasepi namibhilashaha. Now, Satyam Shape, he had great attachment to the Lord of Kanchipuram or Varadaraja. So he says, Satyam Shape Varana Shailanatha, I promise, He Varana Shailanatha, the Lord who lives in Kanchipuram, Vaikuntha Vasepi Namibhilashaha. I do not wish even to stay in Vaikuntham because I am getting that Anubhavam here itself. So that realization that the Lord whom we see in front of us is going to grant us moksham will come only when we have a clear knowledge of the Vedam. Kaf Panthaha. Now, here the last line of the mantra, 17th mantra is Nanyaf Panthaha Ayanaya Vidyate. There is no other way, there is no other way, states this particular Vedic mantra. But what is that way? First of all, I should know that way to state that there is no other way. Panthaha. Now there is a beautiful incident in Sri Mahābhārata. Mahābhāratam is called Bhārata Panchamo Vedaha. The fifth Veda, if at all it exists, it will be Mahābhāratam, it seems. Mahābhārata is the quintessence of all Vedic statements. In that, in Yaksha Prashnam, the Yaksha questions Yudhishthira. Kaf Panthaha, what is that way? Immediately we would have asked, Yaksha, be clear. Tell us to which place, then only we will tell you. Yaksha did not tell all that. He says, Kaf Panthaha. Yudhishthira says, Tarko apratishtaha shrutayo vibhinnaha naiko rishayasya matam pramanam. Rishiryasya matam pramanam. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yenagatassa panthaha. Tarko apratishtaha. By the science of logical reasoning, it is very tough to establish which is the right path. Shrutayo vibhinnaha. Oh, the Shruti statements are so many in number. Naiko Rishir Yasya Matam Pramanam. Two Rishis don't agree on one point. Apastamba states one, Bodhayana states one. One states do Aradhanam to either Lord Shiva or Vishnu, Mahadevova, Purushottamova. Whereas the other Rishi states Purushottama Eva, do worship only to Vishnu. Should we follow this Rishi or that Rishi? We do not know. Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhayam. So Dharma's Tattvam, the intricacy of Dharma, Nihitam Guhayam. It is like that which is inside the cave. We have to go inside carefully and take that Tattvam out. What is the easiest way? Mahajano yenagatassa panthaha. If we find great acharyas like Rāmānuja, Vedanta Deshika walking by a path, simply follow that. Following the path. Mahatmanam darshanam uttamam syat, mahatma vakyam shravanam varam syat, sreshto bhavet sadhu gunanuvadaha, shlaghyo bhavet sadhu samagamopi. You just follow the path taken by the great preceptors. That will be the path. That is panthaha. Mahajano yena gatassa panthaha. This particular line of Yudhishthira's uttaram, answer to Yaksha's question, is in a way related to us. Mahajano, the great preceptors would have taken the path. Is that the path? Yes. What is that path? Again, let us come back to Purushasuktam, the Vedic statement. The Vedic statement says, Nanyaf pantha ayanaya vidyate. Ayanaya, mokshaya, for moksha, evam vidha purusha jnanadanyaha panthana vidyate. For moksha, to obtain moksham, there is no other way but purusha jnanadanyaha pantha, but the knowledge, the complete knowledge of Purusha. How do we get the complete knowledge of Purusha? It goes on to state, Purushasukta pratipadya purusha jnanam mokshopaya. Obtaining the knowledge of that Purusha who has been indicated by Purushasuktam. Who is that Purusha who is indicated by Purushasuktam? Vasudeva or Narayana. How do we understand about him? Only when we discard the other paths which propagate other meanings of the Purushas. So Vedanta Deshika comes up with this beautiful line. Shloka. Atmaikyam, Devataikyam, Trikasamadhikatas Tulyataikyam Trayanam, Anyat Aishwaryam Ityadya Nipuna Phanittir Adriyantena Santaha. Trayantaihi, Ekakantaihi, Tadanuguna Manuvyasa Muktokti Shriman Narayanonaha, Pathir Akhilatanuhu, Muktidaha, Mukta Bhogyaha. The one who is being celebrated by Mukta Jivatmas, Mukta Bhogyaha, Shriman Narayanonaha. So the one is clearly Sriman Narayana only. What is the 18th mantra of Purushasuktam? Yajnena yajnam ayajanta devaha tani dharmani prathamanyasan tehanakam mahimanas sachante yatra purve sadhyas santi devaha. So for this 18th mantra, see, for Purushasukta, the 18th mantra is where Krishna Yajurvedam completes itself. Then we will have to discuss the certain mantras that come in the regular recitation of Purushasukta. I will read out Pratipadartham of Purushasuktam. Upakrantam Srishti Yajnam Upasamharati Yajnena Yajnam Ayajanta Devaha Yajna Sadhana Bhuta Chaturmukhakhya Pashu Havisha Yajnam Ayajanta Srishti Yajnam Akurvata. So the Srishti Yajna was performed. After that Yajnam, after that particular Yajnam, Yajnam Ayajanta Devaha, the Nityasuris and the Muktatmas performed together. Dhatuhu Anuvadaha Devaha Sadhyaha Devaha Tadindriyaniva, their Indriyams performed. So it's a Srishti Yajnam, right? It's a Drishtavidhi, illustration. Tani Dharmani Prathamanyasan Srishti Yajanagni Devanam Sarga Vishaya Vyavaharaha Dharmani Prathamanyani Mukhyani Lokashraya Sadhanani Asan Moksha Hetutaya Pradhana Bhuta Ityartaha Tehanakam Mahimanas Sachante Maha Pujayam Manin Pratyayaha. Now, where does this Nakam take us? So the Srishti Yajnam is performed. We have got the Pantha, the way to Moksham. Where will this Moksham take? Nakam. So it says, Teha Nakam Mahimanas Sachante. What does Nakam mean? It means Sri Vaikuntham. Ayodhye aparajiteti vidita nakam parena sthita, says poet Parashara Bhatta. Ayodhye, Ayodhya is the other name of Vaikuntham. Aparajita, Aparajita is the other name. Nakam parena sthita, Nakam is the other name to it. Nako ambarepi cha swarge paramavyomni cha sthitaha eko vishnu jagatswami vasudevaha sanatanaha yatra purve sadhyaha santi devaha. So this is where the 18th mantra of Purushasukta, as mentioned in the Krishna Yajurveda, and this Yajnena Mayajanta Devaha is just not in Krishna Yajurveda. It is there in Shukla Yajurveda, it is there in Rig Veda, it is there in Atharvana Veda. So this verse is very important. But there are few other verses as appendix to the regular Purushasuktam we recite. So the first verse of that is Adbhyas Sambhutah Prithivya Rasacha. So from the creation or the creator of this world, Brahmandam arose, and from that arose the essence of water and earth. Prithivya Rasacha. Vishwakarmana Samavartatadhi, the Virat Purusha arose. Again and again there is a confusion in the minds of many Astikas that Vishwakarma is the person mentioned. So Vishwakarma communities, Vishwakarma has been mentioned. So Purushasuktam doesn't mention of Purusha, it mentions of Vishwakarma. Here Vishwakarma does not mean Vishwakarma community or Vishwakarma. It means Virat Purusha, say the commentators. Tasya Tvashta Vidada Drupameti. Tvashta, he is the one who pervades the 14 worlds. Chatur Dasha Bhuvanani. Tat Purushasya Vishwamajanam Agre. Then that Purusha continues the creation. Who is he? Similar to the 17th mantra. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasaf Parastat Tamevam Vidwan Amrita Iha Bhavati. The one who understands that Parama Purusha Amrita Iha Bhavati shall obtain moksham. Nanyaf Panta Vidyate Naya. Vedam states, I know of no other way, no other way. Prajapatis Charati Garbhe Antaha. The Parama Purusha who resides in this entire Prapancham. Ajayamano, the one who is unborn. Bahudha Vijayate, for the emancipation of the Jivatmas like us, like you and me, he takes many avataras. Bahudha Vijayate. Tasya dhiraf parijananti yonim. The wise ones research upon his swarupam, think of his swarupam. Marichinam padamichanti vedasaha. Marichi, Atri and great rishis, they will always meditate upon his form. Yodevebhyo atapatihi. The one who shines in the forms of Devas. Yodevanam Purohitaha, the one who is the priest or the guide to the Devas. Purvoyo Devebhyo Jataha. The one who is born before the Devas as Hiranyagarbha. Namo Ruchaya Brahmaye. Now I treat you as that Brahman who has to give me knowledge. Deva agre tadabruvannye yastvaivam brahmano vidyat. That jnanam which should be present to obtain that Parabrahma jnanam. Tasya deva asanvashehe. Hey Deva, I offer my salutations to you. Who are you? Hrischate Lakshmischa Patnyo. The one who has got Hri, Bhumi Devi, Cha, Neela Devi, Lakshmischa, Lakshmi Patnyo as wives. Ahoratre Parshve. You have got day and night on both sides of yours. Nakshatrani Rupam. Your body itself looks like a constellation of stars. Ashwino Vyattam. Ashwini is your mouth. Ishtamma Nishana. Grant us that Divya Jnanam. Amumma Nishana. Grant us that universal delight. Sarvamma Nishana. Grant us the bliss of both the worlds. Says this particular mantra. So these are the mantras which are added as appendixes to the Purushasuktam. So Purushasuktam is very integral to the Vedas. So in certain cases it is found in the Brahmana Bhagam, in certain cases it is found in the Aranyakam Samhita. So this Purushasuktam, when understood, will give us a very good foundation of how Vedas are. Like this, there will be thousands of Suktams in Vedas. You've got Medha Suktam, then Ayush Suktam, so many Suktams. But Purushasuktam tops it all. Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam.